Hey guys, day 9 of the Cobra Lash progress. Remember to subscribe. We are getting a few more rewards. We're getting some silver oils, we're getting some exalted orbs drop, and I think they've definitely improved the rewards of Blight overall, and it's feeling a slight bit more, how would you say, rewarding. After reaching 2020 on my gems, I was able to go into the temple and use my corruption room. This time it got a 2120 Cobra Lash. The Elder you're seeing right now is a tier 15 Red Elder, and I've skipped showing all of the Guardians because we've seen that gameplay before and we've seen how it handles the Guardians. So we don't really need to see Red Guardians again, we'll wait till we get Uber Elder. Now the damage on this Elder fight in particular seems really good because everything's pretty stationary. Nothing really moves around too much and it suits the poison playstyle a lot. Now I must add that I'm not used to playing poison. This is my first ever poison build. I've played Essence Drain, but I think Essence Drain feels like, I guess, a better playstyle for me, for my playstyle. I'm not saying it's stronger or weaker or whatever, but for me, I feel like it feels like a better playstyle. This build works, and it's been working well. I'm actually enjoying it a little bit more. Like I say, now that I'm getting into the red maps, I'm getting rewarded a bit more. The Blights don't seem quite as painful to do, because there's always a chance you can get a map, and when there's a chance you can get a map, you're probably going to do the content. That's a little note for GGG there. Maps, I'll probably do the content. Delve League, you can get maps, you know, stuff like that. So the Red Elder honestly gets pretty crushed. I must say that the process of setting up the Red Elder was super monotonous. So basically you have to get 20 influenced red maps, and what kept happening was when I was at about 15, the influence was breaking, and I'm normally pretty good at managing the influence, and that's not happened before, but man, this time when I was trying to get the Red Elder going, it just constantly kept breaking, and it constantly kept falling on maps that I didn't have them in my inventory, and then I had to trade, and then I had to purchase them, and the process of getting this Red Elder was honestly pretty annoying. It actually took me 2 days, which I know is not good. It probably should take 20 minutes. But I kept signing in and just been like, I am not feeling this, like trying to have to buy maps and stuff. Anyway, the tier 15 Elder went down, and we got a shitty Imperance, or whatever it's called. And we got a Watcher's Eye that honestly was probably one of the worst Watcher's Eye available on the league, so at least we got rewarded in that way. We managed to sell this ring. Now this ring, if you noticed closely, it was created with an essence. Sold it for an Exile. Now I went and spent my 3 Exiles that I had collated over the course of the league, and I bought a Spore Guard. Now why did I buy a Spore Guard, you might ask? Well, for one, I had about 380 fuses sat there, and I wanted to try 6-link something, so I gave it a go. And 2, honestly, I like collecting the, what you call like league specific items in each league. I like to get one of each. So yeah, this is a league if I could speak, specific unique, and one of the only ways to obtain it is basically through a time lost relic sort of divination card. You know which one I'm on about, not the time worn keys or anything. It's like I think it's called time worn, and it gives you a league specific unique. Or play Blight League, and that's the reason why I end up collecting these. So in Standard, I've basically got a set of all the uniques from all the leagues I play, and they're not probably worth much, but it's just nice to have them there, is like a sign that you played the league. So the reason I went and collected the Spore Guard and all of the Blight uniques so early was because I'm probably not going to play this league absolutely super long, and I had the spare currency and my build's working, so I thought I'll just buy it whilst I can. I paid 3 Exalts. I think it's now 4 to 5 on trade, so it has gone up. So if anything, I could just sell it and make a bit of profit. But I just like keeping the uniques for, yeah, just keeping them sake. For example, I actually bought a pair of the gloves for an Exalt, and they're like 10 chaos now, so I wouldn't recommend it. It's probably not going to work. Sometimes it works out. Like sometimes you buy a bottled faith and then they go up to like 50 exalts in standard. Like, yeah, sometimes it works. Other times you lose money. So I figured I'd just keep them. I've got the spare currency. I buy the chess piece, try 6-link it. I didn't get lucky, and that's that. The gameplay you're now seeing is of the actual sort of high level Guardians, you know, the tier 15s. and again, first time playing Poison, and honestly, I'm not really playing these fights correctly at all. So the idea is, I think for this fight, I should probably use GMP, because then I can kill the little birds that spawn, and that will prolif, and it'll kill him. And also I need to get my Wither Totem up, I need to have Blood Rage, and I need to just get a few more shots off, and then Wither in Step for the defense as the degen ticks down. But this is, remember, a starter build, and I've honestly spent like absolutely nothing on the build. I've spent honestly like a handful of chaos on the build. The rest has been like self-created gear or just stuff I've found. So it's done its job of being a real nice starter build that's killed everything. We've yet to do Uber Elder, but I haven't had a build that can do Guardians and not be able to do Uber Elder. So it's probably going to be able to do Uber Elder, which I will get to again. Now that we've killed the Guardians, we'll be able to fight Shaper, and we'll be able to progress the storyline to head over to Uber Elder. And then once we've killed Uber Elder, that will probably be my last progression video on this character. I'll probably still end up playing it, but we've kind of taken it from start to finish and shown you the journey. The gear hasn't been upgraded at all in the meantime, so there's no upgrades from my last video. People keep asking about the path of building. I don't have a path of building. You can go to my Twitch channel, you can type !profile, follow the channel, and then import my character and have a look that way, but it's just basically Mathel's build. I haven't done Mathel's POB either, so maybe he's got more ideal gear that you should be using, but yeah, I just kind of winged it, kind of just got my own gear, and again, it's killing Guardians. And if I was more awake, because you can see the time in the bottom left, it's 3 in the morning, probably not the most ideal time to do your first ever Guardian Poison. If I was playing a little bit better and a little bit more awake, definitely these are doable deathless. Like, honestly, like sometimes like people say that on the builds, oh no, it's doable deathless, but honestly, it is. Like, for example, here, I just got mega unlucky in the smoke phase, and honestly mishit about 3 whirling blades because I was playing like ass, and then as a result missed 3 smoke pools. So apart from those silly deaths that you end up with, it's pretty comfortable. It's definitely not the strongest build I've ever played, but that's because it's a ramp build, so the damage does really, really ramp up. But if you can have a build that just has enough damage to one-shot everything, you don't really need any overkill damage of it ticking down if you can just blast stuff. So probably my strongest build that I've ever played is still my Ice Shot build from last league, and that got buffed as well. That got extra cold damage to the gem itself. But I had ridiculous gear on that Ice Gem character. I had like a mirror-worthy Watcher's Eye, mirror-worthy belt, mirror-worthy boots that I all crafted myself and stuff. So honestly, like, my gear was pretty outrageous. And apart from like situations like that, where you'll notice in here I'm using GMP. To be honest, the pools of creatures that spawn are that sort of grouped up. You could get away without using GMP, but because my Phoenix fight went poorly, I decided to just keep GMP on. For this Hydra, I didn't go GMP. I went single target, but this map mod is like no regen, no mana regen, vulnerability, 400 crit, 100 multi, 50% monster life, 25 chaos res. So it was a brute to get down, but you know, it went down, and I'm not sat here trying to showboat about my play in PoE or anything. I'm just here to document the journey and show you what I've been up to for those that haven't been able to catch the streams or just don't really enjoy watching streams. They're not for everybody. So yeah, collating the clips, posting them, giving my thoughts. The build works really, really well. Damage is nice. It's very good for the league mechanic with the proliferation, I will give it that. It's pretty bad at monoliths, but monoliths really aren't that common. It's not very defensive, but I don't think I'm utilising the elusive buff as best as I could be. And I think, again, I need a little bit more crit chance and multi to make it an absolutely ridiculous build. But it works, and as a starter character where you've spent nothing, it's great. So if you hadn't bought that chest piece like I bought and bought a few other things to hoard, you'd be coming out of the league, if you rushed, with about 6+ exalts, a fully geared character Uber Elder down, Shaper down, all the Guardians down. And that's really all you want from a starter build. You don't really need anything else. Now, maybe if I make another character and it's a lot more fun and it suits my playstyle, I might enjoy the League a bit more, because your build is a large chunk of your enjoyment of the League, because that's what you're playing. What I mean by that is, before I had the Beanos, I was using a Claw without proliferation, and basically it felt awful. Like, the League mechanics sucked, but then when I put the Beanos on, suddenly the League felt a little bit better. I was able to clear the Blights and it felt fun. So maybe if I come off this build and find a build that I enjoy more, the League will be even more fun, because obviously, like I say, your progress and your fun is tied to the build you're doing. The reason these starter builds work is you're not meant to be on them for so long, such as myself. You're meant to effectively play a starter build, completely rush down the Atlas, make your currency early selling the gear that you're finding in red maps because you're in it early, and then moving on to a build that suits you more or can do something different. For example, let's say you're playing this build and you want to transition into a deep delver, right? You couldn't make this build into a deep delver no matter how good you make the gear, so you'd have to do a different build. So yeah, that's the idea. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the update. Next will be Uber Elder. If you're enjoying the content, thumbs up, comment. I'll see you in the next episode.